Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading. I know that this reading is super late, but I feel like in many ways it's also on time. I think that there are some things that you're meant to hear at certain times. And I think that when we're talking about truth and we're talking about shifts in your level of consciousness and shifts in your level of awareness, I think that that's something that it doesn't always happen at a pace that we would like it to happen. And it can, absolutely, if you work at it. But there's just a lot of divine timing or perfect timing to the energy right now. Six of Swords as the overall energy. So I think that some of you are you're coming out of something pretty dicey. You're coming out of something pretty unstable. And I think that it is something that was mentally draining. I get the sense that this is something that you had to spend a lot of time worrying about, is the way that it's reading. And I'm really happy to say that that's pretty much come to an end. This is like the calm after the storm. The storm has settled. Real after the storm energy. In this month, it's like you kind of make sense of what really matters, what isn't worth your time, what isn't worth your energy. I just feel like you're not having the same arguments anymore. You're not willing to have the same arguments anymore. And I think that if someone tries to bring something up from the past, or if someone tries to bring something up that maybe you feel like is resolved, or maybe you feel like there was an understanding, try not to rip their heads off. Because I think that, yeah, you could, but that's what the old you would have done. And I think that you know how that ends. So the advice here with the Five of Cups in reverse is to break the cycle. The advice is to not allow your triggers to rule you. I also think that there are certain behaviors that you know that you can only maintain them for so long. Because it's like they are in conflict with something higher. Five of Swords, they are in conflict. It's like they're I'm getting counterproductive. There's this Frank Ocean line where he says something along the lines of, they're trying to kill me like Selena, they want to murder me like Selena. And that's the energy that's coming through. In the way that I think that you're being idolized or idealized in a way that is both flattering and also unfair. Just because of like what people expect from you, what they feel like you should be on top of, how they feel like you should handle certain things. It's like that's all what you have to, it's like they want you to live up to that version of you that they have in their mind. And you're over here like, yeah, you're definitely a team player and you're willing to cooperate, you're willing to collaborate. But at the same time, you're your own person and you have needs too. For some of you, those needs look like acknowledgement in some way, shape, or form from someone or some entity. Yes, it would appear that what we are talking about is some kind of validation. But I think you know how seeking that ends. Very nice. Your biggest competitor should be yourself. Birth and revenge. Take a look at those in a sec. And at the bottom we have companionship. Your biggest competitor should be yourself, and I think that you should be concerned with doing the best that you can do, and don't spend too much time looking at the person next to you and what they're doing. I just feel that you need to be concerned with your purpose. You need to see the good in what you're able to produce. You need to relate to what you were put here to do. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the overall energy for April, we have the Six of Swords, and I like this. As we said, you are transitioning. I think that you're moving on from certain things. There are some thought patterns that you're leaving behind. Or at least I think that you would like to, and that's a start, because the Six of Swords came out as the overall, but the Five of Swords is still on the table, and it's still lingering, but I think that is external. I think it's external, and I think that that is also maybe even a bit normal, because what you can't control is how developed, what you can't control is how evolved, how aware the people are who are around you are, especially if you're dealing with an air sign or an unpredictable fire sign. Unpredictable in the way that you don't know how it's like they could feel this way one day and feel this way another day. And some days they just don't feel anything at all. Now, it's tempting to lose your cool, but I think that what feels better, what is more cathartic, is letting go of any kind of obligation that you maybe feel like you have to the situation, or power that you maybe feel like the situation has over you. I think that for a really long time you've been making it work, and it looks like in April you're making it work still. But it just feels like you're working twice as hard sometimes, because you're trying to keep things balanced, all while trying to defend yourself and defend your passions, defend your beliefs, defend your purpose, or something that you hold very dear to you, something that you desire, are chasing but isn't ready yet, something that's not that's not ripe yet. And because it's not ripe yet, because it's not fully developed, it's fragile, it's vulnerable, it's susceptible to a lot. And you'll find that one of the things that unfortunately hurts these plans or dreams the most are the opinions of people who don't have the ability to see what you can see, or who, because of maybe something that they had to sacrifice or something they had to lose, it's hard for them to want to see you win. And this takes us to what you do with this kind of energy. How do you thrive? I'm getting like the rose that grew through the concrete, Tupac energy here. It's like, how do you live instead of survive? Well, I think that you should walk with your head up, and I think that you should never lose touch with how valuable or important those pursuits are to you. I think that you should always strive to be a receptive person, but a person who is receptive to that which will make you stronger, a person who has developed thick skin and who isn't so easily pushed off the path or led to believe as though they won't be successful, or that they aren't worth anything. Simply because the way that you go after the things that you want in life is different than the norm. Or the things that you value are different than the norm. Maybe what's normal to be, or what are considered normal values, there's something lacking in terms of morality. Therefore, you feel like a change needs to be made. You maybe feel in this month that there's a kind of this card is sticking out to me. Waiting. Yeah, there's a kind of there's a lot of the same. And I feel like those who cling to the past or cling to conventional means, of course they don't have the vision. It makes sense. It tracks. Resist the urge to be petty. I think that that's one of the things that has become normalized, or it's seen as it's like a normal response. And I feel like you have people who, it's like they have no problem admitting that they're petty, like that's some kind of like that's a good trait to have. And it's one thing that, you know, I actually find to be really disgusting, and it's just like, why stoop? Why become what you have set out to destroy? What, like, where's the honor in that? So I think that whenever you're wronged, whenever anyone is wrong, there is a moment where you have an opportunity to choose how you're going to respond to it. And I think that how you choose to respond to certain things, it defines your character. Let's take a look at this Five of Cups in reverse. I feel like a situation becomes easier this month because it's like you make up your mind about it, and it's like what you're deciding is to, you're redistributing your energy or your resources. It's like you're taking your resources and you're putting them somewhere else, and you're finally, it's like you're clear about this, you're making up your mind about it. And it's like it also has this effect where it's setting the record straight, where it's like making up for how something was handled in the past. There's some unfinished business that's being wrapped up pretty nicely. It could be with a water sign, maybe with a Pisces, that could relate directly to what I was just talking about wrapping up something from the past. Could be definitely concerning a water sign. Let's take a look at the Five of Swords. Five of Swords clarified by the Ten of Cups. Why is it always the ones you love that hurt you the most? Why is it always the ones that are closest to you, the ones that know the most about you, that have the most ammo, why is it always the ones you love? An Aquarius could be giving you guys something. And it's like somebody's making an attempt to turn over a new leaf of some kind. It may be a gift of, if it's not actual money, it's something that is quite expensive, or it means a lot. Let's take a look at the Three of Wands in reverse, because that energy is actually quite contradictory. Makes sense if who we're talking about is a Gemini. You could be dealing with a Gemini who they have a secret, and it's not really a secret. I think it's something that is real. I think it's something that is known, and I think it's something that you know involves, it's like there's a difference of opinion, and I'm sorry, I'll stop beating around the bush. So there's a difference of opinion in terms of what something means to someone, or what someone means to someone. And I think that someone does want to be alone. And I think that that's what the secret is, and maybe they don't know how to say that. Could be. If you're dealing with a Cancer, be careful how you approach this person. I think that you can, if you've been waiting for the right time. I think that now is the right time. Maybe what's been holding you back is you just didn't know if you were going to get the response from this person that you needed. And I think that it's the opportune moment. Could have something to do with leaving. So we said somebody wants to be with the Eight of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Like, I'm getting exit plan, like I'm getting exit strategy. I'm also getting exit wounds. Business, joy, June, Virgo, Aries, September, the letters G, H, and I. Could be somebody's first, middle, or last name. You could be dealing with a fire sign, Leo energy, Aries. So we spoke quite a bit about what's happening around this time for you. And I just want to speak briefly on the advice one last time. You can only do your best and strive to do what's right at all times. It really won't help you too much to follow other people. Forge your own path. I'll see you in the next one.